Typhoon Emong, also known as Kome internationally, continues to skirt the coast of northwestern Luzon before moving off towards the north. After making landfall in this area, the strongest storm in 16 years, specifically in Pangasinan, because of that flow coming in from the southwest. And in fact, the last storm that did make landfall 16 years ago was also Typhoon Emong, believe it or not here. That storm wasn't retired, so of course the name came back around. But the big thing is this is still impacting. Take a look at some of these videos up and down Region 1 here from Pangasinan out towards Ilocos Norte. Continuing to see those gusty winds overnight and now heading into this morning. A lot of people writing in saying, yeah, these winds are not backing off. And the other thing is just to continue to have rainfall, because as this moves towards north, it is going to weaken. In fact, you can see here, it's a typhoon after coming on shore, but look how it goes to a tropical storm. And then out past Okinawa in the southern Japanese island, actually gets downgraded, according to Pagasa, to eventually a tropical depression and a remnant area of low pressure. And this has a lot to do with, well, what's left of Francisco and the overall shear with the monsoon. In fact, there's the low-level center of Francisco, by the way, passed well towards the south of Okinawa, but still kicked on by, creating what I call a trampoline alert. That's my just a little joke, because every time a storm passes over Okinawa, it causes trampolines to fly. It's just a thing there. But anyways, the point is, there's Francisco pulling towards the north. You have all that shear coming back down towards the south. We still have that monsoonal inflow, that low-level jet continuing to wrap around. And we even have a new storm trying to form up off here towards the east out near Guam and the Mariana Islands. So you got three storms, but predominantly, you know, all of these are almost attached to each other with this just general large flow wrapping it around. Let's pull back the bigger picture and you can see what I'm talking about. So yeah, you have three storms, one there, and one here, but the general flow is wrapping around a broad area of low pressure, which is more or less the Fujiwara effect. And in fact, I just put out a video breaking down the Fujiwara effect and what exactly it is and what it means for tropical cyclone forecasting. So please do check that out here on this channel. And if you are new to the channel, hit that like and subscribe button, especially since we are getting into typhoon season here. I want to make sure everybody's staying weather aware and safe out there. So here's a look at the broader picture. You can see that loop. Basically, you have our storm out here approaching northwestern, or excuse me, after making landfall in western Luzon. Now moving over northwestern Luzon. It's going to pass by Apari as we go ahead through the early afternoon. And then it basically raced towards the north. I mean, this is still Friday. Friday afternoon, it's going to be out there towards the southern Japanese islands. And by Saturday, pretty much weakening out along with Francisco. And our storms are going to be done with, at least for the Philippine Sea, southern Japanese islands, Taiwan, Philippine area. Now, with that said, we are still seeing this enhanced monsoonal flow behind it, as well as our new storm system developing out there near Guam, which is going to continue to enhance the flow. Now, I don't think it's going to be quite as bad as we've been seeing, but still over the weekend, we're going to continue to see additional showers from Mindoro, yes, into Manila, albeit not quite as heavy, but out towards Subic. Look at that, an additional 200 to 300 millimeters. And as of making this update, still parts of Region 1 from La Union out towards Ilocos Norte, Pangasinan, all could still see an additional 200 to 300 millimeters of total precipitation just due to this continued inflow, even behind a weakening storm system. That enhanced habagat going to continue to kick in. So that means more rain, obviously, here. All right, so back towards the north, you know, we've been talking about Francisco, though, and you can see the general flow from our storm system here. There's that. There's our new storm, not very organized, but it could become our next name, pulling off towards the north like that. So for Okinawa, as I mentioned, you know, they got some pretty gusty winds, despite the center of circulation passing towards the south, and that is because this is that monsoonal jet, that river of moisture just kicking in from the south, bringing some breezy conditions up and down Okinawa. The Amami Islands as well were under gale force warnings at one point here. Now, as that low pushes towards northwest, it's going to get absorbed with our storm towards the south, and just like I said, continue to enhance that habagat. So places like Okinawa, rain still continuing through the weekend. It will start to taper off, though, by Monday and over towards Tuesday. For the Philippines, Mindanao, so if you're out here in Siargao, for example, not too bad. It really is about that westerly flow here on our Saturday over towards Sunday. So places like Palawan are going to continue to see the showers, and if we swing back our fly over here back towards the east, well, you're going to be looking at Legazpi still passing showers, but of course the heavy stuff is towards the north. There's no way of getting around it here, and that's why I kind of focus on this area where we continue to see the heavy rainfall warning, saturated grounds, and more rain on top of that is going to continue to exasperate the already very critical situation here with saturated grounds, mudslide threats, all of that. In fact, since this whole habah got started back on July 17th to the 18th, and it even continued before that, but it really picked up around that point. 12 people have died, 8 are missing across the Philippines because of these enhanced rainfalls. So it is a very critical situation. Continuing to monitor here. So going to continue to watch out for that. Also watching our new storm, you can see on the right side of the screen there, pulling off towards the north. That's expected to continue to kick off and pass towards the south of Japan. In fact, let's pull back the bigger picture. As opposed away from Guam and the Mariana Islands, you're going to be looking at still at scattered showers there. It's going to kick off and not really get sucked in by this Fujiwara effect towards the west. Coriolis is taking place here. I'm mixing up my terms. But more or less this high pressure over Japan is going to kind of steer it and kick it towards the north and east. But this is really my bigger worry. It's just the tail. You can see that there setting up just on the back side of it, which of course is going to continue to enhance those westerlies. All right. Yeah, there's a lot to talk about here, friends, and you may not have digested all of this, but if you did watch all the way to the end, I would like to hear from you. I would like to hear and see if you found these updates useful. If you want more educational ones like the Fujiwara effect video, make sure you check that out. Let me know, and make sure you hit that like and subscribe button. And if you really want to support the channel, check out our Patreon. Link is down below. As always, thanks for watching, though, and of course, number one thing, friends, we're continuing to watch the storm move over northwestern Luzon. I want to make sure everybody knows, stay safe out there. All right?